This is why you need to respect the Arctic. Like, subscribe, comment, and ring the notifications bell. Welcome to Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, the Arctic, a desolate beauty, a harsh mistress. She held sway over Alaska's northern frontier, a land of perpetual winter where the sun barely grazed the horizon. Snow and ice stretched as far as the eye could see, an unbroken expanse of white, punctuated by jagged peaks and frozen rivers. The small Inupiaq village of Wales, Alaska, clung to the edge of this frozen world, a beacon of human resilience in a landscape sculpted by nature's raw power. Its inhabitants, a hardy people, lived in harmony with the rhythm of Alaska, their lives intricately woven with the land and the creatures that called it home. Among them was Summer Myomic, a young mother just 24 years of age, and her one-year-old son, Clyde Ongtuasruk. Their tiny cabin perched on the edge of a small community of about 150 people who largely lead subsistence-based lifestyles. Its windows framing a view of breathtaking beauty and unforgiving cold. Life in the village was one of constant vigilance. The Alaskan frontier demanded respect, its beauty masking a heart of ice. Dangers lurked around every corner, hidden beneath the snowdrifts or concealed in the swirling blizzard winds. Yet for Summer and baby Clyde, this was home, a place where the bond between mother and son was as strong as the ice that bound their world. Summer gazed into the bright eyes of baby Clyde, his smile bright enough to light up the entire cabin. She gently cast aside the curtains over the window, which momentarily obscured the view of the frozen frontier. A pang of love and fear pierced her heart. Love for this precious child who was her world. Fear of the unforgiving wilderness that surrounded them. She knew the dangers better than most. The stories passed down through generations of her Inupiat ancestors, tales of survival and loss, were etched deep within her soul. The Arctic was a harsh mistress, quick to punish carelessness or naivety. And in recent years, a new danger had emerged, a silent threat that stalked the fringes of their village: polar bears. Once a rare sight, they were now becoming increasingly common, driven towards human settlements by the shrinking ice caps and the dwindling food supply. Their presence filled Summer with a primal fear, a deep-seated instinct that told her these creatures were not to be trifled with. The elders of the community had warned of the increasing encounters, their faces etched with concern. The delicate balance between man and nature was shifting, and not for the better. Climate change, a distant whisper in the wider world, was a deafening roar in the Arctic. Its impact felt most keenly by those who called this unforgiving land home. The blizzard struck with the sudden ferocity of a cornered animal. One moment the sky was clear, the air crisp and still. The next, the wind howled like a banshee, whipping up the snow into a blinding whiteout. Visibility dropped to mere feet, the world reduced to a swirling vortex of white and grey. Summer, with her baby in hand, watched as the weather made a sudden change, as evident by the now frosted window pane. The storm raged outside, but inside their small cabin, a fire crackled in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Summer began to bundle baby Clyde as she prepared to venture out into a blur of blowing snow. As the cabin door closed behind them, she attempted to shield her baby against the freezing winds whipping off the Bering Sea. It was a short walk from the school, where she had visited relatives, to the health clinic about 150 yards away. But the young mother could hardly have seen where she was going, or the terror that was approaching. Unbeknownst to them, a silent stalker had been drawn to the village by the scent of food. Driven by hunger and desperation, a massive polar bear, its white fur blending seamlessly with the snowdrifts, had navigated the blizzard, its keen sense of smell guiding it towards the warmth and the promise of sustenance. It moved with surprising agility for its size, a ghostly apparition materializing from the swirling snow. Its paws, the size of dinner plates, made no sound on the soft snow, its presence betrayed only by the vapor of its breath in the frigid air. The polar bear was a hunter, its instincts honed over millennia of survival in the harshest environment on Earth. And on this day, it had found its prey. The scream pierced the howling wind, a raw, primal sound that sent chills down Summer's spine. She whirled around, her heart pounding in her chest, her eyes wide with terror. Myomic and her son, 1-year-old Clyde, made it just beyond the front of the Kingik school when a polar bear emerged from the impenetrable snow squall and mauled them. The principal of the school, her eyes scanning the blinding whiteness, her mind struggling to comprehend what she was seeing. There, amidst the swirling snow, she saw it. A massive polar bear, its white fur stained crimson, stood over something he couldn't quite make out. But the blood, so vividly red against the pristine white snow, told him all she needed to know. As the attack unfolded, the principal ordered a lockdown and closed the blinds, so the children couldn't see what was happening outside the entrance. Several employees and community members left the safety of the building and tried to scare away the bear with shovels. The polar bear, startled by their sudden appearance, turned its massive head towards them, its dark eyes glittering with an ancient predatory hunger. The mauling stopped temporarily, but only when the animal turned on them and they rushed back inside. Principal Dawn Hendrickson slammed the door in the face of the charging bear. "The polar bear was chasing them and tried to get in as well," she said. "Just horrific. Something you never think you would ever experience." Kingik School, like other schools in many rural Alaska Native communities, doubles as a community center. The view from its front, where the attack occurred, is an endless expanse of frozen snow and ice to the horizon. The villagers, their faces etched with grief and a newfound fear, understood that the Arctic had exacted a terrible price, a stark reminder of the delicate balance between man and nature. There is no law enforcement in Wales, so with the bear still outside, a call went out to community members for help. One brave soul showed up with a gun and killed the bear as it continued to maul Myomic and her son. The village mourned for Summer and her infant son. Her vibrant smile and jovial laughter, once a familiar melody in their midst, was now a haunting silence. The elders, their faces etched with the wisdom of generations past, spoke of the old ways, of the delicate balance between man and beast, a balance that had been disrupted, perhaps irrevocably. They gathered in the school, its warmth a stark contrast to the icy grip of grief that held them. Stories were shared, tears were shed, and a sense of shared loss knitted the community closer. The community offered Summer's family comfort, their words clumsy but heartfelt, their presence a testament to the enduring strength of their community. But beneath the shared grief, a current of fear ran deep. The polar bear attack was not an isolated incident. It was a harbinger of a changing world where the boundaries between man and nature were becoming increasingly blurred, where the Arctic's icy grip was tightening not just on their land but on their way of life. The scars of the blizzard faded, but the scars left by the polar bear attack, both physical and emotional, ran deep. The village community slowly began to piece their lives back together. But the world around them was changing. The sea ice, the lifeblood of their people, was shrinking at an alarming rate. The animals they depended on for survival were becoming scarce, their migration patterns disrupted by the warming climate. The Arctic, once a provider, was now a source of uncertainty and fear. The elders spoke of ancient prophecies of a time when the ice would melt and the sea would swallow the land. They had always been dismissed as folklore, tales to frighten children. But now, with each passing season, with each storm that raged with increasing fury, their words carried a chilling ring of truth. Life in village went on. The villagers, resilient and resourceful, adapted to the changing conditions, their traditions and their community, their anchor in a world in flux. The memory of Summer, her son Clyde, and the polar bear attack served as a constant reminder of the delicate balance between man and nature, a balance that had been shaken to its core. The Arctic, once a symbol of remoteness and pristine beauty, was now on the front lines of a global crisis. The melting ice caps, the rising sea levels, the plight of endangered species, these were not just environmental concerns, they were human stories, stories of loss, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The future remained uncertain, the ice beneath their feet shifting and cracking. But one thing was clear: the fate of the Arctic and the fate of humanity were inextricably intertwined. The whispers in the wind, once a source of ancient wisdom, now carried a stark warning, a call to action to protect this fragile planet, our only home. Wow! What an incredible encounter with one of nature's most formidable predators. If you enjoyed this wild ride, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Savage Tales Animal Encounters for more heart-pounding adventures. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest uploads. Thanks for watching and stay savage.